Hi, welcome to Gracefully Unraveled. Today I'm going to be showing you how to connect these two pieces of knit fabric from the bind off edge to the cast on edge using the mattress stitch. These swatches were made specifically to show those that are making the spring sorbet cowl how to seam the end to the beginning. So for this video, I'll be connecting at the top row on the bind off edge and the second row on the cast on edge. You're going to need a piece of yarn that's at least 3 times the width of your project. And I'm going to roll out these stitches, but here you can see that my working yarn has been cut on the other side, so I have to attach yarn here. I'm going to roll out these stitches so you can see exactly where we're going to insert the needle. Get a little close up in just a second. So these are our first knit stitches of the row, and I'm going to insert my needle under the right leg of the first knit stitch, and then I want this to come out towards the top, so I'm also going to stick it under this little bump here at the very top, and then I'm just going to pull through and leave a little bit of a tail so that I can pull it later. Moving on to the top swatch, we are going to work into the second row for this tutorial. So the first row is just knit stitches, and then the second row has purl bumps also, and then it also has a slipped stitch there. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to roll out this first line of knit stitches, and I'm just going to insert my needle into the first 2 legs, the right leg and the left leg of the first knit stitch, and then I'm just going to pull through. For the rest of this, we are going to be working in an offset. So the bottom will be working in half of 2 stitches, and then on the top we'll be working in a whole stitch. And I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. So go ahead and grab your bottom, and you're going to insert into the left leg, or where your yarn came out of, and then the right leg of the next stitch. Then you're just going to pull your needle through. You don't want to pull super tight here, because if you do, then it'll make it harder for you to read your stitches. So just wait until later to do that. This is our slipped stitch, and it's going to count for 2 rows. So we're just going to grab both legs of that slipped stitch and then pull the yarn through. Now remember that we're working in an offset down here, so we're going to grab the left leg of this stitch and then the right leg of the next stitch and pull through. And then now make sure you're working in the second row, not the first row. And then just grab both legs of the same stitch and then pull your yarn through. The left leg and then the right leg, and pull through. And then skip a row and then work into the same stitch, both legs of the same stitch. Left leg, right leg, pull through, and then second row, right leg, left leg, pull through. Left leg, right leg, pull through. And now we're going to come up to our first purl stitch, and essentially a purl stitch is just a backwards knit stitch. So you're going to just scoop under, grab those 2 legs of the purl stitch, just as if it was a knit stitch. And then you are just going to pull your needle through. If you're ever unsure where to put your needle, just look at where the yarn came out of last and put it into the stitch right next to that. All right, remember, just scoop up the legs of the purl stitch. And it's really simpler than you probably were thinking to begin with. I mean, I know whenever I first was learning this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so complicated because it's a purl. Like, what? I don't even know how a purl is made. And then I realized that a purl is just a backwards knit. I guess I always knew that, but then doing this mattress stitch actually helped me to kind of see the anatomy of the stitch a little bit more. So I thought that's kind of cool. All right, and then for our last purl, it kind of gets tucked up underneath those knit stitches over there, so just make sure you dig it out and don't skip any stitches. For the spring sorbet cowl, just remember you'll always have 5 purl stitches, so you'll have to do that 5 times for the purls. All right, and then I'm going to just complete these next 3 knit stitches, and then I will show you what it looks like when we pull it all together. All right, so I've finished seaming up those 3 knit stitches, and now I'm just going to pull from both sides. You can either pull from just one side like this, or you can pull from both sides. It won't mess anything up. You just want to make sure you don't accidentally pull your yarn out from the other side. And there you have it. As you can see, it's almost invisible, which I think is pretty magical. Not really magical. It actually probably took somebody a lot of time to figure this stitch out. And I just think it's so cool that the pattern just repeats itself once we seam it together. So thank you so much for watching. If this video was helpful, please like it and leave a comment letting me know. I hope you guys subscribe and have a great day. Okay? Okay, bye.